Good morning, junior hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com and the Victorious Hockey Company and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. This is the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. Today is Tuesday, January 31st for you. Actually, still Monday for us. We are recording this show today on Monday because today, which is not really Tuesday yet, we have an important engagement starting at 9 a.m. And this show is very important. I wanted to get it done today so it's ready for you guys tomorrow morning or now today, Tuesday morning. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday for their reality, not necessarily for mine. There you go. All right. That's the end of my humor for the day. This topic we're going to get into is very serious. I'm still angry about this. There's a serious issue, not only within the game of hockey, but across the whole spectrum of sports that fall under the Safesport jurisdiction or the United States Olympic Committee, which covers all of sports. So, topic. Should Congress criminalize the circumvention of Safesport ineligibility? What does that mean? What that means is that there are a number of people that have been banned or declared permanently ineligible by Safesport that have managed to circumvent their ban, get around that ban in some regard to still be involved in the game and still be around these kids. We say kids, unfortunately, I'm not talking about kids 18 to 20 that are in junior hockey or 18-21. In this case, kids for us will be anybody under the age of or 17 or under. And that's really one of the problems. The Protecting Young Victims from Sexual Abuse and Safesport Authorization Act of 2017 was a bipartisan law that went a long way to protecting our children and youth from predators and other dangerous individuals. Now is the time to take that one step further to stop such people from circumventing Safesport ineligibility by adding such attempts to the U.S. Criminal Code. Right now, Safesport does a lot. They're probably overrun. You have an organization that was thrown together to look at things and to make all the sports safer. But the problem is the people at Safesport aren't criminal investigators. They're not the judge and jury. And right now they're acting like the investigator, the judge, and the jury. And it's not really safe for our kids because the code involved in Safesport doesn't have any criminal elements. Therefore, it's just a suggestion. We have predators walking in the rinks as we speak. So what I'm going to ask you today is to please contact one of the co-sponsors or your own congressman to help make defying the ineligibility or supporting the ineligible a federal crime. Given the 2017 Safesport Act some teeth, can be the most important bipartisan accomplishment to protect impressionable athletes from sexual predators like Anthony Da Silva and friends. It's clear that such individuals have found loopholes to circumvent Safesport actions and remain close to potential victims of their liking. Tony Da Silva. Anthony Da Silva. Likes boys 15, 16, 17 years old. And he is going to do whatever he possibly can to stay close to players in that age group. The time to put an end to this ridiculousness is now. Why are we still allowing these guys to float around the rinks? What is it going to take for this country to stand up to the predators that prey on our young athletes? As of now, these predators are free to operate outside the umbrella of sports that are sanctioned by national governing bodies of each sport under the authority of the USOC. This includes off-season development camps and events. Shire Cup. In the case of Da Silva, the self-professed child molester, and he admitted to this, has taken that one step further and fancies himself as a hockey family advisor. To me, that's embarrassing. Let's be clear. Every coach that Da Silva has contacted regarding underage players, and that coach has not reported that contact to Safesport, should be considered to be enabling Da Silva. Coaches, if you're taking this fool's calls, and you know the player is 16, 17 years old, you're just as guilty as he is. I don't care who the hell you think you are. And it's happening. Emails, calls. So what can we do? It's time to get busy. Safesport protection must extend to every program that targets young athletes, regardless of their affiliation with the USOC. This must include facilities that allow athletes under 18 years old to train and develop within their structure. As we move closer to the 2024 election cycle, this is an issue that both sides of the political spectrum can easily grasp and support. Anybody that is against criminalizing such circumvention of sanctions could find themselves as easy targets for their political opponents. It is my hope that each and every one of you that listens or watches this show today will pick up the phone and call your congressman. I don't care if that congressman is Republican or Democrat. If he's representing your district or your area, make the call, please. Maybe ask your friends, family, associates, co-workers to do the same thing. Doing so could make enough of an impact to force an action. What are we asking for? It's simple. Safesport should not be the entity that investigates violations. This should be turned over to the Justice Department. I know they've been busy with political stuff. This is a bipartisan situation. And the United States Department of Justice is the appropriate body to investigate these issues and prosecute these issues. Making violations a criminal offense would go a long way towards curbing violations entirely. Listen, if these fools know they're facing federal prison time for walking into a rink and talking to a 16-year-old, great news. We won. They'll get away. These circumventions of Safesport ineligibility and the act of aiding the circumvention should be a felony as well. If you enable these idiots, you enable Tony Da Silva, you are again just as guilty as Tony Da Silva. If you know that he's talking to a 16-year-old or representing a 17-year-old, you are just as guilty as he is if you don't report that. The real question, why is it not a felony now? Who would be against that idea? Believe it or not, there's an element within our society that would like to normalize such pedophilia. There's a USA Today article that was published last year. The writer clearly attempts to try and normalize the behavior. You can look at highshockey.com for today's article. You'll see a link to that article towards the bottom of today's article. Taking corrective action against sexual predators, physical abusers, or even drug dealers is not discriminatory. It's simply doing what is right to let our kids enjoy being kids. It's ridiculous that we have to have this conversation. It's ridiculous that Safesport was enacted without any teeth. Why make a rule? Why make a law if there's no enforcement of the law? Doesn't make any sense. And it's got to stop. It absolutely has to stop. Because what's going to happen? is that some dad or some mom or some older brother is going to take corrective action on their own. And they'll be in more trouble than Tony Da Silva for doing so. I don't condone violence, but in other parts of the world, these fools simply disappear off the face of the earth. What happened to that guy? I don't know. I don't know. He just disappeared. Maybe he ran away. Maybe he went to France. Doesn't matter. Let's not let that happen. Let's put teeth into this Safesport legislation. It's time. That's it for today, folks. I had a lot of coffee this morning. Headache is gone. I'm a little fed up with dealing with idiots like Tony Da Silva. I hope that you call your congressman today and still have a great day in hockey.